It would therefore be remiss of me if I did not mention the apparent recent decision by the government of the United States to include all ECOWAS countries in its visa restrictions. I believe Togo was on an earlier list. This would be most unfortunate if it comes to pass because we're a region of opportunities ready to do deals. We possess critical minerals and even rare earths such as samarium from the monazite found in my home state of Bauchi, for instance. We would like to do deals with the United States, but visa restrictions are non-tariff barriers to deals.
My people, last week Nigeria stood up and did something bold. They sent a subtle but powerful warning to Donald Trump. Impose visa restrictions on us, and you just might lose access to our critical minerals. Don't get it twisted. This isn't just diplomatic posturing. This is a line in the sand, a message to the world. If you ban us, we'll ban you right back. And why does it matter? Because we're talking about Africa's most populous nation, sitting on some of the world's most in-demand natural resources, from oil and gas to lithium, cobalt, and rare earth minerals that power the global tech economy. So when Nigeria, on behalf of the entire West African bloc, says, "Don't play with us," you better believe the world is listening. Because this isn't just about visas. This is about leverage. This is about who controls the future. And today on the breakdown, we're unpacking it all. What's behind Trump's plan to expand the travel ban across Africa? Why Nigeria and ECOWAS are pushing back? And how this could reshape global trade, diplomacy, and power in ways no one's ready for. We're going to break it down. But first, a big welcome to all of our new subscribers and members. I'm so glad you're here with us. And if you're watching and haven't joined us yet, consider this your personal invitation. Yes, because here at Planet Genius TV, we're not just building a channel. We're building a home for global Black stories that are told with truth, with intention, and with care. And if that speaks to you, then hit subscribe and tap the bell for alerts. Also, consider joining our growing membership community or dropping a super thanks to support our channel and help us remain independent. Also, follow me on all my socials at Sandra Babu-Boateng and subscribe to my personal YouTube channel, Sandra Babu-Boateng, to hear more from me, including exclusive interviews and coverage from events that I'm attending around the world. All right, now, let's get into it. So, quick recap. Trump is back on his travel ban agenda. He's already banned 19 countries, and he's threatening to expand it big time. We're talking about 36 more countries being added to the list. And guess what? The majority are in Africa. West Africa, in particular, is being targeted. Nations like Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and more countries with deep historical, cultural, and economic ties to the U.S. and are being told, fix your passport systems, cooperate with U.S. deportation protocols, or face being banned. The justification? National security. Let's be real. This has all the markings of a political stunt. It plays well to Donald Trump's base. It checks the tough on immigration box. But the fallout? Massive. You ban entire regions of Africa, and you're not just cutting off people, you're cutting off partners, markets, and yes, resources. And now, Nigeria is calling that bluff.
Ambassador Yusuf Tuggar, Minister of Foreign Affairs, says the US's plan to apply visa restrictions on all ECOWAS countries is tantamount to creating non-tariff barriers that will harm trade relations with West Africa. Tuggar, who is the chairman, ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council, made this known at the 54th Ordinary Session of the MSC at the ministerial level in Abuja.
It would therefore be remiss of me if I did not mention the apparent recent decision by the government of the United States to include all ECOWAS countries in its visa restrictions. I believe Togo was on an earlier list. This would be most unfortunate if it comes to pass because we're a region of opportunities ready to do deals. We possess critical minerals and even rare earths such as samarium from the monazite found in my home state of Bauchi, for instance. We would like to do deals with the United States, but visa restrictions are non-tariff barriers to deals. We in this part of the world are students of the art of the deal. We have been part of the international trading system even before the modern state system. ECOWAS countries and the United States have a rare opportunity to create a partnership based on principles of need.
So here's where it gets interesting because Nigeria didn't just shrug this off. They didn't issue some bland diplomatic statement. They hit back strategically. At a recent ECOWAS ministerial meeting, Nigeria's foreign minister, Yusuf Togar, made it clear if Trump follows through with this travel ban, West Africa will respond. And not with just words, with policy. He warned that visa restrictions like these could derail trade negotiations, especially around energy and minerals. Why? Because visa bans are more than just travel limits. They're what he called non-tariff barriers to trade, a form of economic discrimination that blocks the movement of people, ideas, and deals. Let me translate that for you. You can't come begging for our lithium and cobalt during the day and ban our scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs at night. Nigeria is putting the U.S. on notice. Play fair, or we take our minerals elsewhere. And they have options. China is ready. Russia's lurking. The BRICS alliance is expanding. So if Washington thinks West Africa has no leverage, they're in for a rude awakening. This isn't about revenge. It's about respect. It's about sovereignty. It's about Africans saying, we know what we're worth, and we're not afraid to use it. Now let's talk facts. This whole situation is not just about visas. It's not even just about politics. It's about resources. And West Africa, especially Nigeria, is holding the cards. Now I know when people think Nigeria, they think oil. But there's so much more under the surface. Let's break it down. Lithium, essential for electric vehicle batteries, solar tech, and smartphones. Nigeria and Ghana are sitting on it. Cobalt, used in military hardware and green energy storage, found in Côte d'Ivoire and Guinea. Rare earths, critical for lasers, wind turbines, fighter jets, and semiconductors. Nigeria's got them all. Graphite, tin, zirconium, vital to everything from steel to nuclear energy to semiconductors. You find them across ECOWAS. Bottom line, West Africa is the new frontier of the global mineral economy. And here's what makes this moment so important. The U.S. is desperately trying to diversify away from China, especially in a critical mineral supply chain. That's why they're in talks to do a critical mineral deal with the DRC, not because of friendship or charity, but because they need our minerals. And now Nigeria is saying, you want access to our minerals? Then respect our people. Don't slam the door in our face while asking us to open our vaults. It's checkmate energy. Because if the West won't deal fairly, Africa has options.
So we will do deals for our prosperity. The only question is with whom? Who takes up the opportunities in our region by allowing government officials and technocrats, business executives and entrepreneurs to travel freely back and forth to close the deals?
China's already invested billions in African mining. Russia is bartering minerals for arms. And the BRICS alliance is gearing up to set up its own rules. So ask yourself, if the U.S. pushes Africa away, who's going to step in? Spoiler alert, they already have. So what does this moment really reveal, my people? Well, it reveals something many of us already knew, right? But now the world can't ignore. Africa has leverage, real, tangible geopolitical leverage. I have been screaming it on top of my lungs on this show. Not just because of our population or our markets or our culture, because of what's in our soil. That's our power. That's our leverage. And if we play it right, this could be a turning point. For far too long, Africa has been treated like a raw materials depot. Export the minerals, import the finished goods, give up the value, and keep the poverty. Oof. But the game is changing. Because when Nigeria says ban us and will block access to our minerals, that's not just a warning to Trump. That's a message to every African nation. We don't have to play defense anymore. We can start negotiating from a position of power. But my people, this is where I bring up something I've been stressing on this show. We need a continental response, a united front, a real strategy. Imagine if it wasn't just Nigeria issuing this warning. Imagine if the entire continent stood up and said, ban even one of us, and you won't get any of our minerals. Imagine that. Right now, even as Nigeria is drawing a line in the sand, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which holds over 60 to 70% of the world's cobalt, essential for electric vehicles, is in the middle of a backdoor mineral deal with Trump. Yes, you heard that right. President Felix Tshisekedi reached out to President Trump himself back in March, asking for U.S. security and protection in exchange for mineral access. So while one African country is warning him, another is negotiating with him. That's the problem. It's one thing to have power, and it's another thing to actually use it. And right now, we're not using the power of our unity. Let's flip the table for a second. What if we did? Here's what that could look like. Number one, we could build regional alliances. ECOWAS, the African Union, move as one block. No more solo plays. No more isolated warnings. Because individually, we can be ignored. But collectively, we become unignorable. Imagine the strength of an Africa that negotiates as a bloc on minerals, on trade, on security. One voice, one agenda, one line in the sand. Like the European Union. We've seen what happens when the West comes to the table. Dividing, picking favorites, cutting side deals. Enough of that. It's time that we start saying, if you want to deal with one of us, you deal with all of us. And number two, we need to demand fair trade. No more deals that strip the value and leave us scraps. For decades, Africa has been rich in resources, but poor in returns. We dig the gold, export the lithium, ship the cobalt, then turn around and import the phones, the batteries, the finished goods at 10 times the price. It's time to rewrite the playbook. No more contracts where we get 5% of the profits from minerals that we own. No more foreign companies walking away with the wealth, while our people live on pennies. Fair trade means transparent contracts, local ownership, job creation, and reinvestment in our own economies. And number three, we need to set new terms on visas, on investments, on partnerships. If we're going to do business, then it has to be on our own terms. Visa bans, we respond in kind. Disrespectful deals, we walk away together. Exploitative companies, we replace them with partners who value equity, not just extraction. Because here's the truth. No respect, no deal. Not anymore. It's time we stop chasing validation and start commanding respect. And finally, we must never again allow the West to divide us with fear, policy, and politics. Because the truth is, the only reason they're trying to shut the door is because they know we're rising. So my people, this is our moment. We can either keep playing small, or we can use our power together to shape a different kind of future. The minerals are ours. The leverage is ours. Now, the strategy, that's up to us. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Nigeria's warning to the U.S., and do you think the rest of the continent should follow suit? Let me know in the comments. That's it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your group chats. Let's have this conversation together. I'm Sandra Babu-Boateng. Until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.